Hello, everybody. Evan Driver Pony and Undecided. Yep, it's me again after so many months or weeks or such. I've posted content in the past few weeks or so, mostly meeps or stuff, or is it meps? I don't really know. So, anyways, you now notice that everything seems a bit echoey, and I apologize if it pierces your ears if you have earphones and such, but I'm going to do something kind of a little different to be proactive, keep me busy, and yet wanting to give an update and trying to kill two birds with one stone pretty much. So I actually stole this from Gale Force Audio for doing stuff while having a discussion with you all and kind of have a nice ramble catch up while being productive. So I'm basically going to give you kind of a before and after picture of what my desk looks like. It looks like an organized chaos, and I realized that I needed a bit of a refresher, which is kind of a good thing that I have going on today. So I'm getting my iPhone set up to where I can do it for 30 minutes. So I figure 30 minutes it's a proper time to really talk about these things. I know I went over for a little introduction, and you may hear background noises and movement in the process. So yeah, and that's basically what we're going to do. It's kind of an experiment as well, since, well, I'll be discussing a little more what I got planned relating to all this. So here we go. Timer start. And if you hear Miyagi in the background, understand and know why. But I figure get a nice good connection in there as well. So what's been going on lately, I've been super preoccupied with all of the schoolwork that have been going on for my university studies. And for those who are new in the channel, welcome. I may as well give you a little bit of a background of what's been going on. So since the pandemic, my golly, about almost a year now, I've actually gone back to university. It was during the pandemic where I was discovering that I love to get involved with education and basically with subbing and such, and I decided I may as well go back to school and see if I could get my bachelor's degree in education. I was originally going for special ed at first, but then I decided to change it to regular elementary, since I found out, and even with recent events going through with the high schoolers and realizing that sixth graders are my sweet spot for teaching the kids. So I'm going for elementary education for my bachelor's, and there was some transition, and I've been focusing on one class at a time until recently, when I haven't been getting any calls lately for substitute teaching. I decided to take at least one more class for most of the winter, since while I was waiting until March when I was called, and I realized that I think taking one at a time, especially for my lifestyle, it seems much better. So that's why throughout the winter, with the trail rides, classes, and other family stuff that was going on, I was absent most of the time. And of course, I've also been kind of doing some soul searching as of recently, since the release of so many things. And I know this is also a good time to say that while people wonder if I'm going to review the newest MLP generation, my answer, I may as well make it abundantly clear, is no, I'm actually not going to. I felt like that I'm still going to be on this channel, don't get me wrong, and with all other things, but I felt ever since after the season finale of season 9, I was ready to close the book, and I want to try some new things. My golly, it's so dirty. My goodness, my desk was so filthy. Like, it's really, really gross. And wow, I mean, really gross on this table. But I think that for allowing things to just sit there for a long time and not really get into the heart of the matter, cleaning up, realizing that you're going to need a fresh perspective. I guess it's kind of a metaphor with my channel, as far as I know. You may have noticed that I've been uploading a lot of meeps that are kind of parts for like music videos and such that everyone's a part of, that I could pretty much push a button and get some edits done for certain scenes and such. And it's been really fun getting to experiment with some new programs that I've been doing for on my channel lately. And kind of in a way, I want to be known for more than just someone who just reviews other TVs, movies, and such. I actually have been getting my foot back into acting again, especially with voice acting, when getting involved with Fiora the Tank Girl's Fallout Equestria Dead Tree. And chapter 9 was recently released, where I played a heavy role in that. And let me tell you, it was one of the most challenging scenes I've done, yet it was the most rewarding. I will admit that that first take, it was a little too heavy, since I may have been a little sad or dramatic on some feet at the time, since I was going through some rough stuff and some depressing, fighting depression and all that. Now, when I mean by depression, I'm not clinically depressed. I was going through some certain things, like I was frustrated with having to deal with some complications with my shoulder, which, by the way, for those who keep an update on my health, it's actually getting a lot better. Physical therapy has been a huge liberation. And I was also having to figure out on so many things, and I was having way too much trigger problems to be for my own good. And it wasn't until recently, I believe it was February or late January. It was February, where I actually decided to join in, support someone on Patreon. And actually, I supported two people that around that time, like Gale Force Audios, which inspired me to do a ramble while doing something like that, which I may do once a month or so in order to be productive. But at least it gives a good connection. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm putting a lot of new material right on my desk, and I have a really, really nice desk stand, which I'm excited to put my laptops on. I mean, I actually have 3 laptops. I still have my old one, which I mainly do all of my creative videos. I have another one for my school, and another one just to have. I think it's more of an emergency, and it could use a little dusting and a new hard drive, but I don't know. I have never really used it except for when I needed it for HarmonyCon for a presentation when I was doing a panel back in 2019 and 2018. Yeah, it was both. And also with Everfree Northwest. So yeah, I mean, it's about time. I really love how it's giving me a better stance, to have a better posture, to look up while typing a lot of things. And well, I still use my throne for when I need to write in a comfortable bedding position or listen to Tom Banter's Twitches and stuff. Which, speaking of Mr. Banter, which I realized I got off the rabbit trail. Let me see. I'm going to put the hard drives probably right there. I know I'm talking to myself, but I actually ended up joining Tom Banter's audio Patreon. I know a lot of the materials that were exclusive on there, which I really don't get into or anything like that, is, to put it this way, as Spirit Jaws would put it, keep the titties from the kitties. But I decided to get support on there because I've heard through various people that that community actually has a very strong support group, especially when it comes to the arts and mental health and the undecided. So I decided to give it a chance. I would decide to put in the $5 to get in and see what it's all about. And I was pleasantly surprised with how well I was received into the group. I mean, at first I was a little intimidated because Tom Banter, I mean, he's an amazing voice actor and such, like a freelance voice actor, but I was a nervous wreck because from his policies, guidelines, and all that, it was pretty intimidating. And I grew up in a culture where it's either your way or, I mean, their way or the highway, pretty much. So I took in kind of like being cautious and all that. But I mean, it's one of those, I became a wallflower, and it wasn't until about a month later in March is when Tom decided to open a photography section on the exclusive Discord page, which when I got in Patreon, I became a member of this Discord group. And for those who actually followed me on DeviantArt before DeviantArt became a disaster result, which that'll be a video for another day, probably while I clean my desktop and such on my computer, but I mean, the same works. But I actually had a major burnout at one point of photography, especially after the events of 2019. And for those who have been on my channel since the beginning and who heard about with what happened to me resulting in my post-traumatic stress disorder, you would know that I was severely burned out of photography after being taken advantage of by managers and for stealing copyrights when I was basically, the contract was pretty much went a 360 turn away from me, or 180 pretty much. I'm so terrible at math. But I was burned out for a very long time, and apparently there was photography going on, and I mentioned that I did photography in the past, and I believe it was Tom and a few others when he said it's open for anyone of all experience, and I asked if I could post some materials I did in the past, and he gave a yes. And when I posted some of my old works that are still well accepted to this day, even on my DeviantArt channel, he was like, OMG, and he asked for more on there, and I think I've earned a great amount of respect in the community with all of my photography on there. I mean, I tried to get my voice out there well known, but I was actually never felt so happy to get real comments live that were still going and DMs that told me how they were surprised how even, like, how well done it all was, even with an Nikon D60, which I still have that camera, and I'm planning to go over to a camera shop right down in Scottsdale and get it all cleaned up. And it encouraged me to pick up the mantle, or like pick up the shield again. Like I felt like Sam picking up the shield for Captain America again, or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I just watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier finales, and it was amazing to the point of this recording. So yeah, that was a major encouragement, and that actually helped to put that old spark back for photography. And I am legitimately excited, since in August I will be going to Jackson Hole and Bozeman and all that with Casey Mama. And I'm planning to do something very special with that trip for all of my photography, and I wanted to start afresh and anew. So that group has been very supportive, and I've been getting a lot of suggestions of what to do next, not just my photography, but with the future of my channel, the future of my creative process. Thanks to Tom Banter, and I will put his channel and the link above in the description below. And I mean, he and the group managed to kick my butt into really thinking of the perspective of starting my channel anew. So, and it's not just that, I've also had been getting a lot of support from the group, which I want to make an acclaim. Even Tom and the others made a claim saying that this is not like a professional medical therapy helpline or such. It's more of a small group. And pretty much what I would often tell people, especially to Tom after his beautiful dramatic reading of Cake Day, which I believe that happened less than 2 months ago, where as iron sharpens iron, broken pieces also make a beautiful masterpiece. I felt like that this is finally what's been going on. Because, I mean, if you're up for a little tough love, and for those who know me, actually already know about my views about this, but for the longest time, I felt almost like I was there and present, but nobody, except with the exception of a few friends and associates and collaborating partners, that I felt like I was really reached out to. And yeah, there were times where in the group where I struggled a bit to understand, but this is the first group where I really felt a connection. And actually, it was another give credit. These actors, including Tom and so many others, helped inspire me to get some of the dramatic stuff for Sparrow for Fallout Equestria Detry. And now I officially gotten some jobs on an independent recording company for some games and such, which I know I got to get to recording to those soon, so that would have to take some vocal priority. And oh my gosh, look at these wires. They are so tangled. Yeah, oh my gosh, it even smells so much better back here. So I think this may be a two-parter series where you can only do so much on cleaning and not bore you to death, well, because this desk is beyond needing help. So I think I may do it like a few parters on that. I don't know, and I gotta take a 30-minute break and such, because I'm trying to do the tomato timer and such, because I really want to keep the procrastination demons from invading my life. There we go, that's better. Thank goodness for these remarkable ties. I mean, have you ever had the plastic ties where they just keep everything subtle and such? Here we go. All right, let's give this a shot. Okay then, perfect. It took the weight of the laptop. I really love this stand. And I will put a link in the description below of the exact link that I was talking about on the stand. Alright, I'll just put this in the drawer for now. I found some things where I want to hang up some old quilts that were made for back in Missouri. I may even do a video involving my wall, which you've been seeing on my channel quite a lot lately. All right, so other than that, for the future for my channel, I'm debating a little more on what to do next, but I just want to say it right now. No, I'm not going to do G5 because it feels irresponsible and yet kind of unfair for the new generation, not just for the show, but for the younger kids that are looking forward to something new and exciting like that. it would be unfair to compare it to its predecessor. So that's kind of my little thing where I've closed the book, technically, on there, and I'm handing the baton to the new generation. I will still keep my YouTube channel, but I'm just going to, I feel the closure. Alright, let's see, what time do we got left? Wow, I got 13 minutes left. Alright, let's see. What can I do? Got my Dana donkey. I've been using it a lot to eliminate a lot of stressors, and I never realized I'm slowly regaining back all my library. And let's see. Another cool reason. Alright, I wonder if I could fit this in the stand underneath there. Probably keep the wires more clean. Let me give this a shot. I think it may work. It should work. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is that I want to let you all know that a general update that I hope that you all are safe and happy and fully vaccinated. I know several of my friends like the Wolstonator and Midnight Sonata and so many others are finally vaccinated, and along with all of my California friends. I know it's kind of been a hot spot right next to Phoenix, but we're on the West Coast. We are Phoenix has always been kind of the hot spot, but I've been keeping safe, and since I work in the education department, I managed to get my vaccination on both doses since January and February. Yeah, it was January and February where I managed to get both of my doses in there, so that's exciting. I've also been, let's see, I may put my laptop right there. I think keep it a good distance. That should work. I'm thinking about maybe getting somehow wall bookshelves right on the side there, and just so I could be able to reach and read something good or textbooks that I need. But now the thing that, and with the trial coming to an end and starting the things anew, and actually, speaking of things anew, another thing I've also been needing to talk about is during the summer, I may do some cultural experiments, as I call it, where if you really like this kind of chat, I may end up doing a Twitch account for doing something similar like this, or if you think Twitch is too much, I may just end up just doing more YouTube videos like this where general conversation, maybe in a live stream form. Kind of like one of my good friends who he's an ASMR voice actor, and he wanted to just do a general chat and relax while eating or reading the paper or spring cleaning like yours truly. Which, speaking of which, another project I wanted to talk about, which he has been also helping me out with, I've been working on a special project for the month of June. So for those of you who probably have been under a rock, or if you missed it because you don't know what the hey was going on my channel, I actually posted a trailer for a series that I'm going to do for all the month of June called Words in the Wind. It is related to post-traumatic stress disorder, and I know a lot of people have been asking me what am I going to do for the month of June. Well, that means a lot to me in my heart because I want to celebrate post-traumatic stress disorder awareness month, and wanted to give my own perspective, and along with testimonies from other people I've been talking to within various groups who also struggle with PTSD. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on, and I wanted to get a good warm-up exercise and try to figure out mentally how to do it. Three of the episodes are actually improvisation, but the fourth one is actually well scripted, and I'm really pleased with it so far. So I'm going to take a 30-minute break for this special, and I may plan on with these rambles, just do them in a 3-part for the weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kind of a spring cleaning ramble week special. So yeah, let me know what you think. I am the Dark Horse of KC, and see you in the next part. Now to take my coffee break.